Canada, welcome to InfoComm Orlando. We're here at the ICANN booth to see what's new. We're brought to you live by LiveU. Daniel, how you doing? Nice to see you.
I'm doing very well, thank you, Lisa, and good afternoon, Canada. It's my pleasure to take you through some of the products on our stand today. Just to give you a brief background, ICANN is an infrastructure manufacturer. We produce pedestals, tripods, we produce lighting, and our lighting is in two categories, DMX lighting and PoE lighting. We also produce a large range of prompters, be beam splitters, where the camera goes into the rear of the prompter, and PTZ, which is becoming a very popular selection where the camera fits inside the prompter. Outside all of that, we also offer turnkey solutions for prompters, which is a good way of purchasing your prompter because it's fully tested with the pedestal solution and the prompter head, guaranteeing a successful solution. However, today we're going to look at three of our key products on our stand. And the first product we're going to look at is our product called the Fulcrum, which is just over here. So the Fulcrum is a conceptual product at the moment, and the idea behind it is to reduce the amount of cabling that you get behind the camera and the pedestal. Typically in a studio, you'll get 6 or 7 Ethernet cables, power, and multiple video and control cables going to a pedestal location, which gets really messy and congested. So the Fulcrum is a method of centralizing all of the video, audio, and control. It comprises of a single box mounted between the camera and the prompter. It has card slots in the back where you put your media cards. So if you want, for example, 4K, 2110, and some Dante I/O, those cards will go into the back of the unit. You'd locally plug the camera I/O to those slots. The Fulcrum itself has a built-in network switch handling multiple trunks, so you can segregate your NDI, your Dante, and your production networks. The output of the Fulcrum plugs into a wall box like this. It's a hybrid fiber power cable where the power is injected and a single mode fiber comes out. And that single mode fiber is carrying all of your I/O from your camera station. So this could run potentially as much as 50 miles, which is probably outside most users' needs. But typically in a large campus like a university, this is ideal because you could have multiple disconnect points around the campus, and it allows you to bring them into a central control room where you would have a rack unit where you break out the I/O channels. So if the Fulcrum has encoders, you'd have decoders here and vice versa. This unit is also injecting the network connection as well. So in this situation for this demo, we're sending over 3 video feeds bidirectionally. There's a feed coming from the player, which is this feed here. That is playing on the talent monitor. The prompter is coming off the PC, it's been encoded, and it's coming onto the script monitor. And then finally the camera feed is coming back from the decoder to the monitor here. And then we also have a 20 gig network connection. So in this case, we're using 5 channels, but this can support up to 32 channels of I/O over one single cable that's armored, powered, and fiber optic. So this is a great step forward for streamlining studio productions. So we're now going to head over and look a little bit about our PoE lights, because they are one of our hot selling products. So follow me. So ICANN sells a range of lighting. So DMX is traditionally what we've sold in the past. PoE lighting has become one of our most popular fittings. And this is largely because of the technology so simplified. PoE lights are basically powered and controlled over a single Cat6 cable. Now in the larger fittings, it might be 2 cables because of the power requirements. They're controlled using ArcNet or SACN protocol. So the benefits around this technology are amazing in the fact that in regular DMX lights, obviously you have to have AC power in the ceiling. That requires, generally speaking, permits to have that work perform, which takes time and causes delay. Outside of that, the cost of putting electrical into a ceiling is quite high. A typical 20 by 20 grid can be as much as $20,000 for the conduit, the permits, all the electrical work. So that's something that always gets forgotten about when you're doing a project. With PoE, IP, because it's low voltage, the system integrator can do that work, so there is no electrical installation costs. And what that ultimately means for the customer, or the SI, is if they're bidding against someone that's using DMX lights, you can shave $20,000 off the project, which means that SI is 20 grand more competitive than their partner. So that's a key benefit of PoE lighting. The other key benefits ultimately come down to the fact that it's great for old buildings and any buildings where there's asbestos, because you can run the cables above the ceiling space without disturbing the building. They're fully compatible with QSys, so any corporate customer who's used to using QSys systems is very comfortable driving that lighting panel, where you can have manual control or you can have presets. We do multiple fittings, so we start with a 1x1 PoE light, which is LBX10. We have a new LCX21 color light, RGBW. We have an LBX60, and now we have a 60 zoom, which allows you just the focal range. This 2x1 is an LBX20, and it's very comparable to our regular LBX20. We also have an LBX8, which is a low-profile light designed for low-profile ceilings. These are perfect lights for small studios, podcast rooms, and so on. We of course still sell DMX lights, and as a customer, if you want to integrate DMX lights with IP lights, that's very simple. You do not need to throw away your existing investment. You just buy a bridge that connects the two, the IP and the DMX side together. One final note on the lighting side: there is no difference between our IP and our regular DMX lights. They are the same brightness, and they have the same high CRI values. People think because they're PoE, they're not going to be as bright, but I can tell you that is not correct. So for the final segment, we're going to talk very briefly about our media cart. So this is a new product that we've just released. It's a standalone product. It has built-in a prompter, a script monitor, a talent monitor. It has a motorized column. It has 3 patch locations to patch I/O into. It holds 8U front and back, yep. So 16U of rack space. Yep. It's vented. It has AC, air movement built in, yep. And the front and back and sides all open, so you can get to it really easy. We're selling it towards the corporate market, right. But it could easily be used in education, corporate, remote medicine. Even someone wanting perhaps to do home presenting, so like for the news. Yeah. So we put into this as a test trial a little system that contains a Pearl Nano, a Blackmagic switcher, a Sennheiser radio mic and IFB, 2 players and a QSys. In the rear is a Zoom computer with a Zoom tap here, and then there's a prompter PC and a script PC. Yeah. Using the QSys, you can turn this into a full operational system, and it's designed to be either controlled by the presenter, which would be a very advanced presenter to be fair, or you could have an assistant, someone from the media team, drive this while the presenter is presenting their piece. Awesome. So it covers lighting, some of the features are lighting, camera control, which includes pedestal control, and automatic presets. We've got ability to do cues, there's a little cue light that tells them when they're live. We've got prompter control, we can load in prompter scripts and change the speed and so on. We've got a built-in AV switcher, so you can actually switch live. The Emper fan allows you to do streaming out externally and recording locally. There is an Ultimat built in, so you can see if I stand here, it's keying me on the background. And this can all be done to presets to allow a CEO very easy to walk into space and do their own high-quality own presentations. Finally, it's got media players that you can bring content in, and it has a router, so you can route any source to any destination. Now, the secret behind this is ultimately going to be the use cases. Yeah. This is the high-level programming, but where we go next with this is building individual use cases, where it's easy for someone who's got limited experience just to walk in, and the system will prompt them step by step what they're doing. It will give them preview options and then accept options, because we want to make sure that someone coming into this with very limited knowledge can drive this. If you would like to know more about ICANN, you can certainly visit our website at www.icancorp.com.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Like, so crazy new stuff. I hope we really want to make sure you saw this, because it is completely out of the box. And thank you so much for hosting us today, and thank you, LiveU, and thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on our next broadcast tomorrow. Have a great day. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Take care. We miss you.
Thank you.